Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me for this week's Weekly Wisdom. Now, this week I want to share a quote with you. It's by the great Miles Davis, and he states that when you hit a wrong note, it's the next notes that makes it good or bad. So why am I sharing this with you? Other than it's an absolutely amazing quote. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because many times when I'm coaching managers and leaders, there's a lot of fear about saying the wrong thing. When they're preparing for a performance management conversation, when they're preparing to have a conversation about something along the lines of diversity, equity, and inclusion, when they can feel that there's a rumble amongst their team, there's some conflicts brewing amongst their team, but they're not sure how to handle it, they don't want to say or do the wrong thing. First off, if you're experiencing this, it is absolutely common. But we can't live in that fear. We can't sit in that and choose to do nothing. Because when we are responsible for other people, when they choose to allow us to lead them, we don't have the privilege of sitting back and doing nothing. When you have these conversations, I have really bad news for you, and I'm so sorry, but when you have these conversations, sometimes you're going to screw it up. Sometimes you're going to say or do something and you're immediately going to go, oof, it's not what I meant. There have been many times when I have done this myself. In those moments, generally, one of a few things happen. We either fight, meaning we get defensive, we're going to start fighting back. Oh, you heard me wrong. Don't get sensitive. It was just a joke. All of these things. Or we're going to fight. We're going to run. We're going to avoid the conversation. We're going to shut down. Or we're going to go into pleasing. We're going to start trying to do everything to make that person like us. When in reality, when this happens, because it will, when this happens, your responsibility is to take a moment, go inside, figure out how you want to show up in that, and then be intentional about showing up that way. So if you know me, then you know you've probably seen this expression of me going, okay, that's not what I intended. And then it goes a couple of different ways. One, straight up apology. Depending on the situation, straight up apology. Two, if I see the body language shifting in the person, but I'm not sure what caused it, I'll call it out. I'm seeing that something has shifted here, but I'm not sure what it is. Can you fill me in? What's happening? Open the door and give them the opportunity to step through. Now, if they choose not to step through, that is absolutely okay. Because if I have done something to offend, upset, or anger them, they may need a minute to process that. They may need a minute to get past the shock to have a conversation. Allow this space to happen. So when you're thinking through these things, be aware that there are going to be times when you say or do something that you are going to regret as a leader. It's not the wrong note that counts. It's what you say or do next that is going to be critical. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this week's Weekly Wisdom. More info to come. Hard at work finishing my book. It will be out in the fall. I know y'all are so excited. I'm so excited too. Wrapping up cover design and editing and doing all of the things. Have an absolutely amazing week. As always, don't forget, you got this. I'll see you next week.